Okay, you dirty, dirty whores. You're smiling like the biggest dirty whore of them all. See? She absolutely continued that smile and said yes.
No, I did not. You were putting words in my mouth.
Huh?
I said, no, I did not. You were putting words in my mouth.
Better than other things. You can't blame me for me being me.
No, I can't.
I see you trying.
No.
I see it.
I'm just imagining a painful way to torture you.
That sounds like every woman, though.
Not all women are as diabolically crazy as I am, though.
I get you that. Depending on who it is. You know, one day I'm gonna have to figure out the name of this shit.
What?
I'm gonna have to figure out the name of this shit one day. I never think about asking, like, so what do you call this shit? Because I'm like, he's gonna give me some fucked up name. I could see him giving me some fucked up name that he just made up.
I don't know.
Well, you know.
Some of them, like Gorilla Glue, ironically, stupid as fuck as it is one of the best ones out there.
Mm. I don't know. I want to say I'd have to go to the West Coast before I could say one's better than the other.
Well, the best one I've ever had, and I would literally pay $20 a gram for it, is sour diesel. It is the absolute, in my opinion, the absolute best, smoothest high I've ever had.
Did you ever? Well, wait. No, I don't. I don't go off of names, and the reason I don't go off of names is because there's too many,
Well, that's true.
and two, the person. I don't know the person that well. And I know that they don't necessarily grow it themselves. And knowing that and knowing how many back and forths may be going on here, you know, between him getting it from someone else and then them possibly getting it from someone else, you know what I mean? You don't know how many times someone has told somebody something and then something change up from what was said. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I would go off of what somebody would tell me more than if I walked into a dispensary, just because the dispensary is going to be the one that's, you know, really more hands-on with everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're more like, okay, we grew this, and this is why this has this name, right? Because they're going to have multiple different ones. And they can explain it more to you because they have a more personal touch to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you go get from somebody, they might not be the person that grew that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Most of the time, where I deal with, no, they did not grow themselves.
So you have no idea if they're being 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, are they giving you the information they got, or did they twist it in any way to make it sound better, some shit like that? There's a lot of factors that go in there, and that's what I'm saying. I would have to go to the West Coast so I could get what is, you know, named as what is supposed to be, because I'm almost positive every strain has probably been named to us wrong, and what we think is what is probably not.
Why do you think that, though?
Because of how many names and how many strains and how all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only, 3 real strains, and one of them can go vice versa, meaning you got your indicas, you got the sativas. Your last strain is a combination of the sativa and the indica.
Yeah, the hybrid.
So, right, but the hybrid is never 50-50. With these, this one may be higher with the THC versus the CBD. Or you could have one that's got higher CBD factors than THC. You know what I'm saying? And it's never completely. You see what I'm saying? It's never like, oh, this one's 50 THC, this one's 50 CBD. It's always like the THC on this side be 32%, the CBD on this side be 58%. It's weird numbers like that. You see what I'm saying? So you only got 3 strains. But the fact that there's so many different variations of that third strain, and there's so many different names, there's a lot of room for error. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a lot like alcohol, even though it's not alcohol. You know what I mean? Because you got different percentages for different alcohols. See what I'm saying? That's how I look at weed. Is I'm like, okay, there's 100 of fucking names. There's multiple different ways you can get the THC versus the CBD. I would believe you more if I see you grow it. You see what I'm saying? Because if you didn't grow it, you got your information from someone else. Did they grow it? You see what I'm saying? Did they grow it? Are they hands-on? Is this personal with them? Versus someone in the dispensary, they're going to be able to have that personal with it. You dig what I'm saying? Because a lot of dispensaries have their own grows. You know what I'm saying? And within those own grows, they got the regular shit too, you know? So I'd be more willing to go into a dispensary to actually get more in-depth information. You see what I'm saying? Because all we have right now is gas, loud, mid. You know what I'm saying? And there ain't nothing to tell you the distinctive. You know what I'm saying? Like, gas just, depending on who you are, can hit really good, or it can be like that level you out. You know what I'm saying? You know, mid is considered bad, right? And then loud is that. Yeah, then you got loud, which is that strong exotic. That's what I'm saying. I would believe the dispensaries because it's such a more personal, hands-on, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would figure it out. Like, oh, I've had this strain before. That's what this is. This isn't what they told me this was. You see what I'm saying? I think dispensaries should be legal everywhere for that fact alone.
Okay.
For the fact of how much personal you can get, how much more details you can have without worrying about it being misinformation, you know? Because you're not going to misinform somebody of something that you personally take care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just not going to do that. So,
Right.
you go to a dispensary, you have more of a reason to trust these people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's not you're not just talking to a random person. That's what they really do. You know what I'm saying?
Let's
Is
try to
there-
get up.
Now I'm stretching.
Okay, you can go get me water then.
No, I can't move from this spot either. No, continue that.
No, I will not.
That's about as much as I can do.
See, that's more than I do. I wouldn't even move and I'd be like, I can't reach. That's it. That's all I got. You know?
No. You are being restricted.
Am I?
Yes.
So, we're just going to call you Sony.
Baby,
What?
while you're in there, can you grab me a
I will
Coke?
not.
Why? So hateful.
Because Lexi just walked in. There you go, Chris.
She's being hateful.
That's when you're supposed to say, all right, well, can she get me a Coke?
You need a Coke?
Yeah, but I was asking Vanessa and she's being mean.
I was just kidding. Holy Christ.
It's in the door.
I was literally playing. That wasn't meant to be taken serious. And that worked in your favor, man.
Thank you. You're my favorite person right now.
That was not even supposed to happen like that. Okay. That was unexpected.
That's Alexia for you.
When have you ever known a kid to do something that you said in a joking manner?
Welcome to Lexi. She does it all the time. It's her way of breaking the joke.
Is there a way we can make money off that? Because that sounds like a rarity. That sounds like a rarity. I mean, that sounds like some shit. You'd be like, you know what? We can get some money if we just figure this shit out.
Right?
Was that break not long enough? Pause. Was that break not long enough? Pause.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Are we still on a commercial break? Will we be right back after these messages?
I'll still be here 10 minutes later waiting for her to come back.
20 minutes later.
Leave me alone, I was getting a pickle.
Was you getting a pickle to tickle?
I was getting a pickle, but never mind. Nope. I'm not finishing that sentence.
It's alright, she was getting the pickle to tickle. Alright, it's alright. Nobody here
Fuck
judges
off,
you.
James.
Nobody here judges you.
Right.
Ain't no one here judging you. We just making fun of you. There is a difference. That's right. Put it in your mouth.
Stop it.
Is it crunchy delicious? I am not to blame for this.
You are.
I'll take credit for it, but I'm not to blame for being able to make a joke.
If I had finished my sentence, it would have been a lot worse for me.
We can figure that one out. It can't get too much worse. Shit. Let's see. You needed something salty, but Skeet wouldn't do.
No.
Like I said, it can't get too much worse.
Oh, that's a damn lie.
And that is true. Let's see. Hell, I'm drawing a blank. But I'm also trying not to think. Yeah. I just happen to know she was either staring through me or at me. I'm like, I do this, look up, and I got BAM!
It's like, damn.
You ain't broke connection to them eyes yet, man. That's the scariest shit in the world, man. When you ain't paying attention to nothing and you just look around, next thing you know, you look over at somebody staring directly at your ass and you don't know what the hell going on. You just see the face just straight. You start questioning things.
What?
See? I told you, it don't take much.
Not from you, anyway.
You done swallowing?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Mr. Belvedere coming home late?
Oh, no, you tell me.
You-
You married to him?
You heard what she said, though, right? Oh, did I? That's right. We're upscale living right now. How's sophistication working for you?
What?
That sophistication you had going on last week, how's that been working for you? I mean, it was on display, you know? This week it's, oh Lord. What? So she went from having sophistication to, oh Lord. You embodied what this entire city tried to be. It's high class, but it's not high class. It's got the name. That's it. That's exactly what you demonstrated for us. We appreciate that.
And find out next week what the hell she gonna do next.
Absolutely. The story of high class will be told. It will be told. The story of high class. We gotta know. Is it all class?
Nope. Not even nope.
Damn it. These are things they want to know. Is it all Xanax and mumbling? We gotta know.
No, do not do Xanax.
We gotta know. When did cocaine hit?
I don't do
We
cocaine.
gotta know.
I stay away from all that shit.
Oh, ain't nobody here took it. I'm just playing off of I'm playing off of like a fucking commercial ad. We gotta know. Find out next week on High Society. Find out what they're taking. Is it Xans, cocaine? What are they taking in the middle of high suburbia?
Maybe some LSD or heroin.
All right. We're here in the mean streets of High Tower Road. Well, I think we got him over there, Johnny. They're by the Corvette. Like stupid shit like that, you know? Here comes their dad. The Hummer's coming out now. It looks like they got a Hummer. Okay, there they go. Stupid, you know. What are high-class cars, man? I'm trying to think of rich cars. That's why I said the two richest cars I could think of. I don't know rich people cars.
BMWs, Ferraris,
See?
Lamborghinis, Bugattis. I should not know this many.
See? High class, I'm telling you.
Goddamn.
I'm over here. The highest car I could think of is a damn Hummer. And that's not high class as shit. It just costs a little too much.
All those cars I named put the price of the Hummer to shame.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying the fact here. Like, my most expensive car to think of is a Hummer. I asked, 3 people what the fuck culture means? Because someone said one time that I wasn't cultured, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, you were telling me about that.
You know? I was like, what the fuck is culture? I'm like, I read about it, people use the word and everything. I'm like, but what the fuck is it? You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like, I never understood what culture is or what the fuck being cultured is. Like, you're gonna be who you are regardless. You know what I'm saying? But having a bigger definition than some other people, you know what I'm saying? Right. Maybe having a little bit more knowledge over certain things. And I never really considered that to be a culture thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just happen to have interest in certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never could understand what is like. I don't mean like what is like, because every time someone says culture, they always throw another word right after it, and I'm like, but that doesn't make sense because that's not what that can be, right? I'm like, with me, I look at it like with music, you know what I mean? I'm like, music can reach anybody.
But I said music is a culture.
But see, it can reach anybody.
Yeah.
Okay? And it can be understood by anybody who wants to take the time to try to understand it, right? And that can be on any genre, right? Same thing from movies and art like that, right? But they're like, it's a culture. I'm like, but they can all intertwine and still be what they are.
Well, see, just like the term epic, culture is now being thrown around loosely today. It used to mean culture as in a civilization of one particular religion, meaning their own traditions, their own legends. That used to be considered a culture, like the Christian culture or the Mayan culture, or just like that. But now it's being used as a particular group of people who have similar or whatnot interests, like the D&D culture, the magic culture, or community is another term for it. They're loosely using that. Sense. Yeah, community makes sense. But because the word culture has such a vast meaning, it's being thrown around too loosely.
See,
so really, culture. The three people who did they give you answers, or just the one person?
No, they've never been able to actually answer it.
Well, my answer to you is cultures from 50 years ago. No, I might as well say 70 years ago. From 70 years ago was a civilization that had their own set of rules, their own legends, their own myths, their own everything. That was a culture because me going into that culture, I won't continue saying it. I will literally learn everything about them, but I will be an outsider. It will not be my culture.
But there is a point in time that when you are no longer outside of it because you've either learned about it, then experienced it, or you learned about it, experienced it, and still stuck around. So you, at some point, will no longer be an outsider.
Yes, I know. I will have eventually joined that culture. But at the time I'm not part of it, it's a whole new culture.
But see, that's what I'm saying is, I don't see how you'd be able to define that as even being a culture, because if you just learn about it, then not only are you going to eventually have the information over here, you're going to have more information than what's here.
Well, that's true, but that's true with everything. So I guess if you wanted to say the actual term of culture is being blurred, like the lines of it.
That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense that people, because like I said, nobody's been able to really kind of, you know what I'm saying, make it make sense. You know, like, I just also think it's me not being able to, you know, see it as this, because I'm like, but, you know, you're able to go through anything, right?
Right.
Just the experience.
Yeah, the actual definition of culture is the characteristics and knowledge of a particular group of people, encompassing relations, language, religion, cuisine, social habits, music, and arts. The word culture derives from the French word, which in turn derives from the Latin word colere, which means to tend to the earth and grow, and cultivate, like cultivate the land. Which, and if you think about it, has no real meaning connected.
See, that's why I'm always confused, is I'm like, how can you say something is uncultured if somehow everything is, right?
Right.
You just might not have that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But that, I don't think that would make you uncultured to not have some knowledge. Maybe your life just didn't take you down that road. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, I've always heard that about, you know, oh, you're uncultured. I'm like, how in the fuck do you come to the idea I'm uncultured?
Careful.
Well, you see how that would be confusing? That's why I'm like, I've never understood that. You know?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I also see where everyone else is coming from. They can't really describe it because there really isn't one anymore. The lines have been blurred. There's no difference between culture and known. Everything is eventually known.
I can see that. I don't know.
That's why they say, my favorite saying is, even when the world falls, the truth will stand.
Are you getting beat up with a toy?
Which is bad because it's a stuffed toy.
No.
I don't know what's worse, a stuffed toy or a puppet that he's controlling. I mean... Alright.
Okay.
Don't ask.
We did, but we don't want the answer.
I mean, I didn't ask anything. I said, I don't know, because I was like...
We said, are you being beaten up? That is in form of asking.
No, I said that... You said it was a stuffed keychain, and that was bad. I said, yeah, but not worse than him controlling a puppet, and then he just did this.
Oh.
That's what I said.
missed that part.
That's why I said I'm not asking, because there's way too many questions that I don't think need to be answered there.
Chris. Thank you. Okay.
Oh yeah, like how Mr. Mackey got his ass whooped by Mr. Hand.
Exactly. Some things you just don't know the answers to.
Yeah, then you see Mackey getting in his seat with a black eye and bloody nose, like you won this round. And you're like,
How in the fuck did that happen? That's questions you don't really want the answer to. You might ask them to yourself silently. How the fuck did he get beat up by a damn puppet that he himself is controlling? Because that brings up all kinds of questions in your head you just don't want the answer to.
I keep thinking of Liar Liar when he goes in the bathroom and starts kicking his own ass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did look like he was winning that fight.
He was I'll give him this, he was very committed to not going back in that bitch. He was like, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to get around this. You know what I'm saying? And he found that motherfucker. And he took it. That was what was incredible. He said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. He could have paid somebody because he was in the public bathroom. He could have paid anybody who walked in that motherfucker. Look, man, here's $20. Just punch me in the face one good time. You don't know who's in there. You ain't going to be able to say who it is. He could have did that. No, he said, fuck it, I'm going to throw myself against the wall. Smack the shit out myself.
Yeah, but he was also being forced to tell. So when they asked him what happened, he would be forced to say, I paid a bitch $20 to punch me in the face and throw me against the wall.
No, he still wouldn't have to say that part. He could still be honest and not have to say the part about paying.
How?
I got punched in the face.
Well, what if they asked him why? What happened? What did the guy say? Then he would have to lie.
Yeah, but see, it wouldn't be that serious. He'd just be like, because you notice he said, what does he look like after he said he was assaulted in the bathroom? And then he was like, just some guy. So he wouldn't have to necessarily,
Yeah.
he would, if the question was the exact same, what happened? I got punched in the face. Do you know who punched you in the face? It's a public bathroom. You know what I mean? I mean, he was about yay tall. Like, that's the part where he had to start lying. But the fact that he could throw out there, like, I'm in a public bathroom, somebody just punched me in the face. It could be anybody, you know? I think it would have played safer.
I mean, nowadays, yeah, I can see that. But in the past, not many people just walk to the bathroom and go, oh, hey, look, I'm going to punch him in the face. They would ask for a reason, like what caused it.
Back then, you could catch a motherfucker in the bathroom and punch him in the face just for fucking doing something stupid.
You do that now.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, you're holding your penis wrong. Yeah, got the point.
You really don't think that would be something that happens
I
today?
really hope not.
I guarantee you that's something that would go down today.
It's like, seriously, dude.
I guarantee you that would be something that go down today. As dumb as it
That's what I'm
sounds,
saying. You're
you
fucking
gotta.
that burger wrong.
No, I swear that's something I guarantee you they've heard at Burger King or McDonald's at least once or twice. The dumbest statement you can think of has been said. More than one time.
That's so stupid.
That means you're not really expanding to how dumb people can truly get.
Maybe I have more faith in humanity.
Oh, that doesn't have anything to do with your faith in humanity, how stupid people can be. You just come to the realization that humanity in itself is just nowhere near as smart as it can be. It holds itself back. And you can't be mad at that. That's a fact.
Right.
What other species on this planet has come closer to annihilating themselves over nothing? Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people, oh, it wasn't because of nothing. No, this shit could literally be talked out. And they decided to wipe out the entire Earth multiple times over this one fucking conversation neither side wanted to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's been a species of anything on this planet to go that crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we're all bad. I'm just able to recognize that we are kind of fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, being able to recognize, there's nothing wrong with being able to recognize that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people would tell you there's something wrong with being able to recognize that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because you're not everybody. The good part of that is when you take yourself out of that group of everybody, you're able to be more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the more you're a part of this over here, the more you're a part of this over here. See what I'm saying? So people got to change that, that thinking. Like, oh, you're not going to be able to fuck with this because you're not that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's not the way that works. You know. Madam, sir, that is too loud.
Wait, Travis is there with her?
Uh-huh.
I did not know that.
I mean,
That sounds like they're trying to hang something up.
let's not say that.
Shut up!
You forget who the hell's in here.
It's not like we haven't been having these jokes go back and forth the entire time.
Right. It's just like what's what you call it? Bill from King of the Hill.
Hmm.
He wished he had a son to kick him nuts.
Why would you wish
And
that?
he forgets who the fuck's next to him that will be willing to oblige that wish.
I just don't know why you would wish that on yourself or anybody. That's a weird wish.
Right?
It's a weird ass wish. To be kicked in the nuts is a weird wish. We're just gonna, no. Gonna make fun of your arm tattoo, but then I was like, Yeah, I don't have anything to work with because it's just a fucking old ink pen.
Calligraphy?
Yeah, that thing. I don't know the name of it. I just know it's an ink pen with a feather.
It's
You
not. Well, I guess you could see it's a calligraphy. But it's not technically what it's supposed to be.
So that's not a feather with a pen part on the end of
It's
it.
not a pin part, but it is a feather. But now that you've said it, I can see that. That actually makes more sense than me just thinking it was a giant line.
Well, considering that's how people used to write.
Mm-hmm. I have a calligraphy set upstairs. I don't want to play with it, but I have it. Because I do like the way it's written.
Well, honestly, I think we need to implement things in the world that we had in school again.
So cursive?
Like cursive would be one of those things, considering nobody's really doing that.
Shoot, I'll write air cursive every chance I get.
Like all the basic shits over the keyboard and shit like that. Like I think they started teaching that shit on the touchscreen, but I'm like, man, that shit would be more impressive to make sure it's taught, early. Because we had that in school where they taught us the keyboard, but they taught us the keyboard 1 year and said, fuck it. You learned that shit in the 6th grade. What about 7th? No, we didn't learn shit. We went from it's a must learn situation with the keyboard in 6th grade to it not mattering at all in 1 year?
I had it in 7th grade. Woodstock.
I had it in 6th.
Woodstock didn't have a 6th.
That's because I lived in Marietta.
Oh, good point. That's right. I forgot you moved from Marietta first.
Yeah. So when I was in 6th grade, they taught in Marietta. They taught the 6th graders.
Well, we had it. I had it in 6th grade too, but I also went to Marietta school. I went to. At the time, it was called Nash.
I don't know where that is.
It's called
But-
middle school now. So.
But when I was in Marietta, it was 6th grade. But then 7th grade, they didn't teach it. You know, they taught it to the 6th grade, but then 7th grade, it wasn't important. But when you were in the 6th grade, they, were like, oh, this is must know. This is going to be something you use all the time, every time, da da da. You know what I mean? And then they just said, never mind. You know what I mean? So Jason over there getting hit in the nuts. He over there getting hit in the nuts.
No, she literally just said, why, I don't know. I'm being abused.
But you like it.
I was really going to say, is it abuse if you actually like it?
Oh.
We're afraid to have that conversation. The reason we're afraid to have that conversation is because you have to take into consideration the moment in which everything happens. And if you take that into consideration, it changes a lot of stories.
Well, yeah.
And that is way too many stories to change because of that. Because of the rulings that have happened.
We are not getting into that conversation.
I'm saying though, you can't have that conversation because of that conversation. You see what I'm saying?
But in my opinion, is if someone is being abused but their ass is smiling and fucking back, it is not abuse.
No,
That is not abuse. That is them playing around. Me and Chris do the same damn shit.
Yeah. You just got to be able
Ours is a
to.
little more painful. But
A lot of-
not on purpose.
All right, we didn't need to know about the
That's
whips and
not what I
chains.
meant.
We didn't need to know about that.
Whoa.
We didn't need to know about all that stuff. I mean, she threw that out there on the road.
I don't do chains. I do whips and belts.
See, freely throws it out there after saying something about me saying, ain't that some shit?
I didn't say it the first time. You took it that way.
That's because that's the only way you're going to take that?
No.
That's not abuse over. That's just playing. That's how we play. Only ours is a little bit rougher. Really, that's not the way you're going to take that?
You have to look at
That's not the way? Sure. That's not the way at all. She was like, I'm going to wait this whole time. I should have just stayed. We'll look at this way. Just, yup. Yeah. She'd have been like, damn it, you never going to look over this way. Me look back over here. She does, she does like, fuck it. I look back over this way. Motherfucker. Shit. That is what happens.
If you say so.
Well, it's a good thing that I say so. That is a good thing then. Do y'all have death training?
No, we do not.
No.
We
Okay.
actually thought we reserved it, but then when I went to pound something else, I checked on everything else and it wasn't there, but by the time it's too late to reserve it.
Well,
So we
I was just
reserved
asking
it.
because I never actually looked all through every,
That's not even all we have. I got more stuff upstairs.
I just skim it every once in a while and I'm like, okay.
But no, there's more behind the first set. There's a whole nother row of stuff behind it. But, it's whatever. We don't have death training though. I wanted it. We don't have it.
I can believe that. No, I was just wondering because if anybody was going to be able to give me insight to the game, it'd be you if you had it.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody else had a PlayStation. Everybody else got an Xbox. And I'm just curious about the game.
Well, if I ever get it, I'll let you know.
Do what now? Is she trying to spank your monkey, man?
Hey, if you're gonna do that, we gotta go find a private place to go do that.
Oh, yeah, into being an exhibitionist?
That sounds like a conversation for two people that, you know, got people beside them, and the third person probably need to be out the door with. I'm just saying, that should sound like some, sir, you ain't got nobody, you need to excuse yourself. All right, now we got both of y'all in here. Y'all both got couples now. Who's gonna win? Start the jacking contest. Go! Like, that's what that should sound like.
That's not at all what that is.
I don't know. That's just what it sounds like to me.
Look at that.
I'd rather not.
Probably not. It probably will scar you.
I mean, this is most likely another question that you don't want to know the answer to.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't want to know the answer either. It's just a rhetorical question.
There you go. You gonna end up texting me later on. What the fuck? You know what I ain't been able to stop thinking about since you got over here?
No, I promise you that will not be a text you will receive. No.
Sorry, Chris, you're gonna get that text.
No. For two reasons. One, he ain't gonna receive that text. Two, he can't have his phone at work at night.
That don't mean his phone can't receive a text.
True.
It just be there. He gets out from work.
Motherfucker.
Damn it. I don't fucking know. They got like 3 texts underneath. You ain't responded to me yet.
No,
Hello?
I just told you he can't have his phone. Why would I do that?
You ain't even let me get to the finish part. Like I said, it'd be 3 messages underneath the main one. Be, you ain't answered me yet. Hello, and then, oh yeah, you can't have your phone.
Should have known. Should have known.
But yet you didn't. I'm afraid the answer there would be no. You're still playing with.
I want to know who the hell they are. The only person I can think they belong to is Zach's girlfriend.
What about Zach himself?
They would be with him.
I don't know that.
There's only one key on there, and it's super girly.
Oh, you forget we're in 2021?
Touche.
I'm sure there's a lot of people just like Butters.
I'm just saying, like, there's no real line when it comes to what's okay and not okay for men to have on or not have on or whatever. And that unicorn keychain is one of them things that, depending on the person, they might have it, you know? I know I ain't gonna have it, but that's just because I don't fuck with unicorns. Like, that's it.
Right?
There is no other explanation. I don't fuck with unicorns. I just. But if it was some bullshit like. Like one of them things that, you know, like the sand device, the sand timers. If it was something like that, I'd probably have that shit. You know. I would probably, because I got that keychain where it's 2 people fucking.
I forgot about that
yeah.
damn thing.
So yeah,
I remember that.
I got that keychain. So like I said, I just don't fuck with the unicorn, you know. But I'll fuck with it if it's like a sand time or some shit like that, or like the people fucking. But I won't keep that one with me because I don't want it to break. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I would have shit. I would probably have a lot more keychains right now if I was like going places on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like if I was walking to GameStop or Target or some shit like that, you know. But I don't do that shit. I'm not finna go in them stores. You can go in them stores.
I do go in the stores.
You can go in them stores.
I do go in the stores, and I have several keychains. Not on my actual keys, but I have several keychains. I have like 7 lanyards.
The only one I got is the one that works now. I bought so many of these fucking things, and the weird part is this motherfucker's 4 years old. This is the only one that's worked. I got it for free. This bitch was free on launch day of the Switch, and it hasn't broke yet. Yet the motherfuckers that buy it for like Zelda, them bitches break every time. Every fucking time. But this free son of a bitch right here won't break. He won't do shit. And I have a feeling it's because of this.
Right, but I do have a funny feeling one day you're gonna be like, it would not break, you're like,
And I'll be like, hot shit. I'll be counting the debt because I got this at launch when I went and picked up the Switch. This is exactly the same age as the Switch. So I'll be going, how old is the Switch whenever it actually breaks or something? Because the fact that it's still here is amazing to me. Hell, I've bought like 4 or 5 Zelda ones that lasted maybe 3-4 months. You know what I'm saying? This bitch been on here since 2017 and still ain't broke. It's just dirty. If I clean that bitch up, it'd probably look like it did in 2017.
right, or like I said, you'll be pulling that, this stuff will not break, I'm not, God damn it.
Yep. Fucking. Trying to figure out if they ever gonna update the screen on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Cause, what is it? 1 more year on the market, and then it's reached its full lifespan for Nintendo. And everyone's like wanting a Switch Pro. I'm like, why don't they just upgrade the tablet? You know, maybe give it a little bit bigger screen. Of course, the input res and everything like that. You could have easily a 4K screen on the Switch. Because cell phones have had 4K screens on them for what, the past 3-4 generations now? So it's not like you couldn't get a Switch to have a 4K resolution screen, you know, and it would actually be affordable still, you know what I mean? All you'd have to do is just upgrade the screen and make sure the controllers still work. The Joy-Cons, I think that's all you'd have to do. Because outside of the Joy-Con drift, nobody says anything about the controllers being bad, you know? So I think if they upgraded the tablet, they could have that be their main console, you know? As all they got to do is go, look, just get the updated screen and just keep the screen updated, the tablet part updated. And the more they do that, and if they charge like $200 for it, they'd be perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Think about it. $200 for a tablet that's playing video games and it's made by a video game company like Nintendo. You'd actually buy that screen. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, Nintendo themselves had that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be a way to keep that going, and especially with the fact that it's, you know, a portable device, right? It keeps Nintendo kind of in that relevancy. You know what I mean? Because while Xbox, Google Stadia, and all that have the, you know, the digital market and the reach for, you know, being able to be more future-proof, right? Nintendo could remain relevant by having their portable device and the screen get updated and be able to, with each time they upgrade the screen, have more of those applications like, you know, HBO Max, Netflix, and all that shit on top of the games that you can already play, on top of those third-party games, right? And it would remain relevant to the simple fact that it's a portable console, You know what I mean? But that would require them, you know, making the updates to the screen.
Yeah.
It would be a lot like what they're, I think, going to implement with Xbox and probably even PlayStation, you know, which is the ability to continue playing certain games. Like, I don't think the Xbox One's going to stop until probably 2025. And the only reason is how much more life they've been able to get out of it due to the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So they got that lifespan now, the extra time that they should have been taking anyway, right? And yours will probably go out maybe 2027. You know what I'm saying? Because you have the One X, right? I got the One S. He's got the One S. Those will probably be 2025. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually the parts in them will have worn, you know, tear and all that bullshit, right? But also, by that time, the game making process for these new consoles will be a whole lot easier. You know what I mean?
Right.
And also, by that time, we'll have seen a couple of, you know, drops in price. You know what I'm saying? So it'd make more sense like the One S get dropped in like 2025, and then the One X get dropped in like 2027, because by the year 2028 or so, they should be looking at introducing a new generation. You know what I'm saying? So then by that time, you still have the current generation of consoles with a new one out, and this console generation isn't going to be wiped out anytime soon. You see what I'm saying? So you can wait longer. You see what I'm saying? Which is why I'm like, if that's the place they're going with that, if Nintendo just updates that screen, then they'll be able to stay on par with everybody. You know? You don't have to worry about nothing other than the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons can, you know, be here or not, but it's an option to a console. You see what I'm saying? Versus with like PlayStation, you gotta have it. You know what I mean? But you also gotta have a TV. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a screen versus Xbox or Stadia or something like that, where it's like literally whatever the fuck screen you have. You know what I mean? Then you got Nintendo, which is it's portable, so you're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be how they remain in the conversation. You know, I think that portability of it's going to keep them relevant when it becomes about you can play these on any fucking device. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's just how they can remain relevant to me. You know what I mean? Update that damn tablet. That should be, what, about 4K 30 at the weakest? Considering, what is it these tablets put out now? Like 4K 60 or 4K 120, something like that?
I forgot.
I know they put out a lot. Because I know the camera on my phone does a 4K 60 if I have the outward camera. And it does, what is it, like 4K 30 on the inner. So if it can do that with those cameras, then it's already able to show me the quality of the camera in 4K. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm just like, you know, you get that ability, man. You be walking around with a 4K device in your hand. That's not your phone. You know, that shit would be fucking insane, wouldn't it?
Oh.
That was a weird, you know, scratch out of nowhere. That was the sound you make, like, we made it, damn it, we made it. We had a long trip. That trip from sitting up to laying down, man, that took all day. This lean has just been non-stop. Man. That was a good motherfucking blunt.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker was hitting like a bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know you was getting a hit because the motherfucker got that filter on there. You know? Now we just gotta get the ones that have the flavor that you break. It's like them Camel Crush. So like you smoke it and it's regular, but then it's got a flavor pack in there. You crush that down and it turns it into whatever that flavor is. So you be hitting the blunt, all of a sudden you might get like the one I had was mint. You know, you crush the mint flavor. Now you're smoking like mint, and it might taste like a menthol, but that should be smooth as a motherfucker, man. And I tell people, it's like, oh, you buy the menthol ones? I'm like, you need to buy the menthol ones, man. It's like smoking fucking ice cubes. Like, literal just sitting there with an ice cube. It's exactly what it is, you know? That's why I like the mint, because you'd be like, not burning yourself, you know?
Right.
Because I don't know what it is, but every once in a while when you be hitting like a bong or something, you get that little burn back in the back of your shit, you know? That's why I like the menthols, because you be hitting it. You might get that even if you don't hit a bong. If you just be smoking like this, you know, you might still get that burn. But you get that menthol, you get that mint flavor going, you don't feel that burn. It's like a cool sensation. Which we also got to get a bong so we can fucking do some like bong rips with ice. Like where it's got the water. It's got the water in it, and then you put the crushed up ice cubes in that motherfucker at the bottom. So that motherfucker be dancing around and shit. That should be dope as hell. And then a gravity bong too. So
No, I will not do a gravity bong.
Need one of them. No, cause look, you take you like a little good, like a nug, right? Get you a nug, right? And it can be like 2.5, right? Put that bitch in the top of that gravity bong, pull that motherfucker up with the flame on it, and the more you pull up, that thing gonna fill up, right? So if you got you a 20-ounce bottle, you can get you a pretty good little bit, right? Or if it's a 2-liter bottle, like how we used to do back in the day with John, right?
Right.
You get you a whole fucking lot of smoke out of that shit, you know. Plus, we gotta get like one of them room vaporizers, man. You seen that shit? Or no, what is that? You know, the air pumps for the air mattresses?
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen one of them things used as a bong?
No.
Oh my God, that shit is some magical, almost borderline disrespectful shit. But no, it's beautiful. You get the air pump, right? You put the shit on it like you would do on all the other shit, right? It's the aluminum foil. So you put the aluminum foil on there, you put the, poke the holes in it so it can, you know, breathe. Put the weed on it, and then just light it up like you lighting a bong or a pipe. But you turn the air on, so the flowing of the air is really a pool, and it's shooting out all that damn smoke. That would be the sickest shit to have going on. And then I seen, what was it? Two people had on these fucking big ass water jug helmets, and they hotboxed those helmets, right? And I was like, I gotta try that one time. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yes.
There was like an old dude and his son, and they were sitting there, and they had these helmets on, and they had someone light the weed, and it filled up, right? But they had a lot of weed. Like, they had way more than they should have had to pull this off, because their faces disappeared in the smoke, okay? But as soon as their faces disappeared, they ripped them helmets off because they were like, that's too much, that's too much, that's too much. You know? And I was like, I want to try this one time because I know my stupid ass would forget that I'm in a helmet. If I can't see out that bitch, you know they couldn't see. If I can't see and I'm already high, because you know you already high, I will forget that bitch is even on my head, and I will be like, I'm feeling shit on my shoulders, man. Freaking the fuck out, like... You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that shit is... That would be something to fucking try, man. All we gotta do is get like, what? About 3-4 motherfucking water jugs? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? You should try, if you ever run the mic, try that shit on him.
Oh, dude, Mike would not be able to do that on nothing.
Oh, that would kill Mike.
No, I wouldn't kill him. He just probably pass out. He probably ripped the shit off his head and go right to sleep.